Welcome back to my channel. I'm Julie, keeper of my home, and this is my husband, Joe. We do all things home here on my channel. Simple living, homestead grown, all things home. We love showing and sharing our journey of simple living. And this is one of the things that we do here on our little homestead. We burn wood. We have an Amish wood cook stove in our home that we use through all of the cold winter months. We cook on it, we bake in it, we use it to heat our home. It's a Pioneer Princess and we love it. This is something that we're used to. We're used to burning wood. We've burned wood growing up. My family burned it when we were growing up. We had a wood cook stove as well. And also my husband's family burned wood while he was growing up. So it's probably a more common thing up in our area. We are pretty remote up here. And this is 2 cords of wood. We do have 2 more cords coming. And we generally have our kids help us put this in, but this is a work day for them, so we're kind of tackling it on our own. It's going to rain for the next few days, so we're trying to get it in as quick as possible while it's still dry so that we're not dealing with damp wood. It has been seasoned. We buy it that way. Wood up here is about $2.40 a cord. I think that may vary depending on who you get it from. We've been getting it from the same man for several years. So we like to continue dealing with the same person. And my husband and I, like I said, we're putting this in today. We thought we would only do, we'd work for an hour, maybe an hour and a half, just get in what we could because we had tons of things to do. But like I said, it's going to rain for the next few days. So we ended up getting the whole thing in, working a lot longer. It took us 2.5 hours to get the whole thing done. It's not piled, but it is thrown into our basement. And yes, that all fit. We have to throw hard because we kind of have to get it in there beyond in order to fit everything in there, which is always a challenge. This clip will give you a good idea of exactly what we're doing. I'm really trying to throw it as far back as I can because I don't want it all piling up in the front, because if it does that, then all that wood is going to pile up. It's going to make that hole smaller to get the wood into, and we're not going to get it all in. So the goal is to throw it as far into the basement as we can, and then get it all in all at once, and then we'll go down into the basement and work at piling that and then get the next load in. My husband and I both work together on this by way of I'm working one side of the pile, he's working the other side of the pile. We're kind of working into each other. So, and then, it lowers it down, narrows it down, makes the pile smaller. And it helps quite a bit because we're getting all the areas and not just working front to back. So I am scraping, raking up all of these little wood pieces here, the bark and little scrap pieces that you do get when you get wood, because I kept tripping over them. Oh my gosh, that is probably the worst part, is constantly staggering over this wood when you're throwing it in. I can't stand that. So I am always trying to keep that raked into a pile. Then once that pile is finished, the wood is all cleaned up, we're going to put it into a wheelbarrow, and we'll keep what is, the really good pieces, big pieces for kindling. If you haven't seen the video that I made on our fire pit area, I can link that above or below in the description box. This is a great place for us to use a lot of that scrap wood because we have been doing a lot of fires for s'mores and hot dogs and different meals that we have been making down in our fire pit. And it's not just your typical summer fire pit. It's a working cooking area. It's like a wagon train cooking area. That's what I like to think of it as, because I mean, it's great. It's got all the elements that we need to actually make a meal. So I'd love for you to watch that when you finish this one. And like I said, I'll link it either above or in the description box. You'll notice that Joe and I are not always working together. Sometimes it's just me or sometimes it's just him. And it's not that one is ditching the other. We are taking breaks. We're taking breaks, and I believe right now he's out in the garden just watering stuff in the hoop house and in the garden area. Just it's very hot. It's very, very hot day, and you can tell by the sweat on my back. My shirt is all wet. This was incredibly warm on this day that we chose to do this. But like I said, we did it because we knew the wood was dry, needed to get in. It's going to rain for the next few days. And as it so happens, it rained the next few days really, really hard. We had really bad storms. Trees were down, lines were down. We lost electricity for about 4 or 5 hours. So we got some really heavy rains. We are both very glad that the wood got put in. Now, I will tell you that my biggest fear of putting wood in at any point in time, any year, I always struggle with this actual area that we're working in. I'm always afraid to find a snake, always, because anytime we have found snakes on our property, it's always been in this area. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the rocks. I don't know. Do they like gravel? I don't know. Do they like wood? I don't know. But even when the wood isn't there, there always seems to be a snake hovering around in that area. A couple of times we have even opened up those doors to the cellarway, and there has been a snake sitting on the shelf of the the cement area where that the doors are sitting on. There's been a little snake sitting in that area, just like he thinks it's his little sauna or something. Oh my word, that scares the life out of me. And the first time I saw it, I locked myself in the car. Yes, I know, crazy, but I locked myself in the car. I called our son. He came down and took care of it. Then it was just the other day, another one. My husband had opened up those doors and there was one in there. And what had happened was he tried to take the shovel, lift it up and pull it out. But when he did, it fell into the cellar. Yeah. Right into our basement. So yeah, a snake in the house is not a good thing, basement or otherwise. So he tried to find it and he couldn't successfully find it. So he left and went on with his day. And I was panicking, thinking there is no way I am going to allow this snake to be in our house. He's got to remove this because I'll never go down in the basement again. I mean, the basement is where our storage refrigerator is. It's where our, we have all of our canned goods, the freezers. I mean, we use our basement. So there's no way I'm going down there. If there is a snake living there, it's just not going to happen. I'm not going there. So I ended up calling the same son that removed the snake before. He wonderfully, he came down and removed the snake. He found it. It was down in the basement. It was right underneath of the steps. It took him a while to get it. It was a long one, at least 15 or 16 inches. Yes, that's long to me. Yes, he took that and got rid of it. And I was forever grateful. And just like that, there's a snake. This is what I'm talking about. I just knew whether I manifested it or not. My sister thinks I manifest them. I just have a fear of snakes. Are you guys with me on this? I mean, I get that they're garter snakes. I get that they're harmless. I get that they're getting mice and all the things that they do. I get it all. Our daughter-in-law says, well, they kill the mice, so you don't have to worry about the mice. I'll take the mice. I'll take the mice over a snake. I can't do snakes. Am I alone in this? Let me know in the comments below. I just can't do them. I don't know what it is, so you'll see me moving everything. I told my husband, I'm just checking to see if they've got any family that stopped by to visit. So I'm just cleaning them all out of there. Yeah. We're done. That's another year. Well, no, actually. Oh, I'm gonna depress myself. We're not quite done. That's 2 cords, and we still have 2 cords coming. So we cleared up this spot, 2 more cords coming. That should be coming within the next week or so. And we'll work on getting what's in the basement now all piled, and let the wood the next bit of wood that we get will be the last of the wood that we get this year. We're gonna let that sit out a little bit longer. It is seasoned already, but we'll let it season a little bit longer. And while we're letting that season longer, we will put in the wood, pile the wood in the basement, and then work on throwing this wood in. So that's it for today. Thanks for joining us on this very hot, hard day of work. It's 87, by the way. Yeah, I think I need a cold shower. Until next time.